Good morning, friends and family. Welcome back. My name is Letitia, also known as the Crafty Curator, and this is a channel about cross stitch and sometimes knitting and sometimes books and sometimes crochet and always random ramblings. So welcome back. This is going to be the third installment of my WIP parade video. In today's video, I am going to share some finishes. I'm going to share some WIPs, active WIPs rather. I'm going to share the next drawer in my bin, and I'm going to share some haul. So that's what's on the agenda today. I know this video is going to be over an hour. So stitching, beverage, bathroom, all the things. Today I'm drinking out of my Letitia mug. I'm drinking some English breakfast tea. This is a mug that my director gave to me for Christmas. It says, I am bold, unique, sensational, resilient, courageous, victorious. Actually, that says virtuous. Fabulous, wise, bold, strong, grounded. Lots of encouraging things. Beautiful gift from my director with some beautiful sunflowers, and she had Letitia put on it. Yeah, so there's that. So I think we're going to jump right in because we have a lot to go through today. First thing I want to go through is some comments that I received. I was kind of late responding to the comments on the last couple of videos. So the first thing I definitely want to say is thank you everybody for welcoming me back from my hiatus. Truly appreciated that. Lots of comments about welcome back. Good to see you. Glad you're back. I truly appreciate that. I read every single comment. I didn't reply to every single one, but I read every single one. And I thank you all for that, for taking the time to comment and just send some warm wishes and virtual hugs and all that good stuff. Lots of comments regarding the name for my craft cabinet. Love that. Lots of feedback in regard to what I should use for Q and Z for my Prairie Schooler alphabet. So let's go through it because there are a lot of cool comments that I just want to share and some things that you guys might find interesting too. So the first one is from the Rocking Stitcher. She wanted to know if my stitching routine will be highly affected by all the things that I'm unburying right now. I thought that was a great question because now all of these things that I'm looking at that I may not have looked at for quite some time are at the forefront of my mind. And for the last year or so, I haven't been monogamously stitching, but there have been several projects that I've stayed with for a month or so rather than rotating every week or every 2 weeks, which I've been known to do in the past. So yeah, it's interesting to see how I'm going to tackle all of these. But one thing that it has done is when I am normally excited to start something new or buy something new, it's reminding me of all the things that I currently have. So I don't know if it's affecting my stitching pattern because the pattern, the project that I'm working on right now for Stitch Asia, I'm almost positive I'm going to be stitching on that throughout the month of March. So it hasn't necessarily affected my stitching, but it has affected how I'm looking at things to start. I'm not as eager to start something new or buy something new and shiny. As I mentioned, I have haul. You know, I lie in every single video, so, you know, take everything with a grain of salt. But yeah, if I see something that jumps out at me that I know is going to be kind of hard to find or is something that is really calling to my particular aesthetic, I'll get it just to have it in my stash. Excuse me, have it for that rainy day. But as far as like the latest and greatest and needing to be like Letitia past by all the things, this is why I don't need to be like Letitia of the past. This is why we're having a WIP parade in several segments, because Letitia's already bought all the things. Letitia needs to take several seats, right? We'll see how that goes. But thank you, Rocking Stitcher, for that comment. The next one is from Michelle and Charles. Can you tell me where you got your mug? She is interested in getting it as a present for her sister-in-law. So what Michelle is referring to is my Craft Octopus mug that I showed in my last video. I got that from Zazzle.com. They still have them. I checked when I read her comment and I looked for the link. I did post a link for the mug in the drop-down box in video number 62, if anybody was interested in getting that mug. Amy loves toads. Hi, Amy. She said that the birds that were on the GaRon tote bag that I showed looked like goldfinches because I did show up the bag with the birds, and I asked if anybody was a bird watcher or a bird enthusiast, if they knew. There you go. Amy said they look like goldfinches, and I'm going with that because it sounds correct. So thank you, Amy. Shirley says, I've always wanted to do a Prairie Schooler project, so I'm going to do the alphabet, and if you don't mind, I want to use the changes you suggested, and asked if the Prairie Schooler alphabet was one chart or several. So first and foremost, I do not mind. Anybody that wants to do their Prairie Schooler alphabet exactly like I did, using the words that I did, I highly encourage it. Go forth and multiply. I just spit a little bit. That's okay. We're friends, right? It's okay. It's fine. Go forth and multiply. Yeah, I don't mind at all. If anybody uses that idea, go with it. It's not my design. It's not my pattern. It's just an idea that I had, and I love it. So if you guys love it too, have at it. I love it. I love that you want to do it. She asked about the Prairie Schooler alphabet, if it was one chart or several. It is several, but, and somebody else asked me, Nancy asked me, is it the Prairie Schooler Christmas alphabet? And I always refer to it as the Prairie Schooler alphabet. But when you search for it, the pattern is actually named by the letters. So each chart comes in a series of letters, meaning the first chart is ABC, the second one is DEF, so on and so forth. So when you look for it, it's really named the Prairie Schooler ABC. Or the second chart is the Prairie Schooler DEF, the Prairie Schooler GHI, so on and so forth. But each pattern comes in a series of 3 letters, with the last one to make an even 27 motifs and 9 charts. The last one has more of a motif with ABCs and 1, 2, 3s rather than a letter, because there's only 26 letters in the alphabet. And that was Nancy's question that I just referred to in regard to the name. Next up, we had a few names for my craft cabinet, because when I was referring to it in the last couple of videos, I was kind of struggling with, what do I call this? So we have a few contenders now. Craft Shelf, oh, that was the name of my title, Craft Shelf Names in my notes. It's not who said that. Okay. Catty Sue Katz says, you could call your shelves Crafty Curator's Cabinet of Curiosities. How extra is that? That's what she wrote. It is extra, Sue, and I'm here for extra. Absolutely love it. The Crafty Curator's Cabinet of Curiosities. It almost sounds exotic. I like that a lot. Anne says, I would recommend Stash Playground. And that's exactly what it is. It's a playground for stitchers. Yeah. Stash Playground. I like that a lot too. Ingeborg, A Stitch Too Far. Actually, she wasn't talking about the craft cabinet, was she? What did Ingeborg say? She was actually talking about Stitch Asia. So, fun fact, I didn't know this. She said Sampler Cove is a Thai company, so that would qualify for hashtag Stitch Asia, which is what Abby Bella Stitch is encouraging everybody to do through the month of March, to stitch on Asian themed patterns or design or Asian patterns from Asian designers, and use the hashtag Stitch Asia. I did actually choose my pattern for hashtag Stitch Asia, which is what I'm working on right now, but it wasn't in any of the bins that I've already been through. It was in another bin. She also thinks that the landmark tapestry pieces are based on Central Asian designs. Kazakh surely refers to Kazakhstan. And I thought it was South Asia, but either way, South or Central, it applies, definitely. So if anybody has any of those landmark tapestry, the pillow collection, the Tapestry pillow collection, they apply because they're like Persian rugs, something like that. Somebody else called, and I know I put it down here. They referred to the cabinet as the stash bank, and I know I put the note in here, but I didn't put it in here in order. Margaret said she shared her appreciation of the cardinal story, and thank you all for who commented on the cardinal story and shared their own stories. I appreciate you receiving that. Thank you so much. She actually wrote, "When cardinals appear, your loved ones are near." I've heard that before. I think I've heard that before. So I definitely, if that's something that you came up with, Margaret, let me know. I thought I've heard that before, but if that was your quote, let me know. But I'm actually thinking about whenever I get to that cardinal, stitching that quote underneath. I think that'll make it very special. She also said that my videos were like watching me open Christmas presents. And that's the funny thing. I had so much fun going through those bins because there's a lot of things that I haven't looked at in a very long time. So it was like Christmas to me too. I was excited as everybody else was. She also said, "I can't wait to see your massive scissor and glasses collection after you make it all the way through." There were several comments about the scissors, about the glasses. I think D was somebody that said that we should start a poll to take guesses on how many scissors and reading glasses I have at the end. Yeah. I think that would be a great idea. My husband agrees with that. He said he's all in on that day. So that's funny. It's ridiculous, the things I'm finding in these bags. It says a lot about my organization. Yeah, because this is new to me. This organized bins and trying to inventory everything I have. Yeah, Letitia has not always been like that. She's the one that has batteries in the project bag for whatever reason. Another Margaret mentioned something about the mail delays. During the last couple of months, packages are taking 6 to 8 weeks to go from USA to Canada, as well as the other way. Some of our family gifts started to arrive in early February. There was a COVID outbreak at a couple of the Canada Post sorting centers, which handles the packages going to the U.S. Then she asks, did the store give you a tracking number? And if so, can you see if the package was stuck in, I'm going to mess this up, Mississauga? I'm going to mess that up. Or Richmond Postal Centers. First of all, thank you so much for that feedback, Margaret. That was very good to know. I also want to make mention of that. I think it was in my last video I was talking about how long it was taking to get my threads for the quilted bees, and I ordered them from a store in Canada because I couldn't find the threads anywhere else. It's amazing the effect that COVID had on thread and fabric availability, but it has. We are all aware of that. So I ended up ordering from Canada to get these threads, and I think I ordered it in December of last. No, it was longer than that. Not December, like 3 months ago. December. It was much longer than that. I think I've been waiting for these things for like 6 months, 8 months. It's been a while. But based on what happened, it very well could have been from December of last year. And maybe that's why, no. I don't know. It was a long time ago. But anyway, long story short, sure enough, the package showed up 3 days later. And I was like, okay, great. I talked it up. And I'm very glad that I didn't mention the name of the store because I've ordered from this store several times. I get my 40 count Verdal even weave from them. And they're always very quick with the shipping. Even when I followed up on these items every couple of months, they were very quick to respond. And it wasn't their fault. They too had trouble getting the threads. And they told me that. They told me that they were on order or there was a delay or whatever. And I completely understood that. But I found out It shipped. This is why I'm thinking of December. It actually shipped on December 8th. So that was 3 months ago when they sent it from the store. But the problem was, when I had ordered from them before, obviously my profile was in there, logged in, all of that good stuff. My address is stored. When I got the package last week, it was my old address. So I played a role in making that problem even worse. The fact that they had to order the threads and that they were having a hard time getting the threads in themselves, I totally get that. They shipped it when they were made available, but then they shipped it to the address on record, which was my old address. So mail forwarding, it was my fault. So yeah, all of that said, I had a very good experience with them, and I hope that my comment was in no way, shape, or form saying that, they were doing a terrible job. They weren't. They were doing everything that they could, and yeah, it just took a long time. So that's all. I think I have other things to keep me busy, right? Just a few. Okay, there's something. What is that? I have a whole, but okay, is this going to be that kind of video? It's fine. I have a big bay window in front of me, and there's a whole bunch of plants in there. So every now and again, I'll get one of those little gnats. It just flies in my face randomly. So, I thought that was pretty cool that just happened while I was recording. That's fine. Okay, so now we're getting into the suggestions for Z and Q, and you guys really came through. I'm talking about my Prairie Schooler alphabet, where I said I was struggling with what to put in for Q and Z. And you guys really came through with that. So thank you, everybody, for your suggestions. For Q, I had a couple of suggestions for Queen, Quest, Quality of Life, Quiet Reflection, Quest for Democracy, Rob Barfoot Refuse. Rob, I'm just going to call you Rob. You know who you are, Rob. Hey, Rob. That was awkward too. It's fine. Rob said, question everything. I love that. Ingeborg said, quilt code. Loved that. And I say I loved that because a while ago on Instagram, I was talking about stitching the Freedom quilt patterns, converting them into stitching. And Freedom quilt patterns, Freedom quilts were quilts that were made by the slaves or by anti-slavery enthusiasts, abolitionists. And these symbols that were quilted into these quilts, they would be hung outside or put on display, and the quilts, depending on what the code was, would give directions to slaves who were running away through the Underground Railroad to tell them where there were slave traders, where there were unsafe spots, where there were safe spots to go, where was the next stop on the Underground Railroad. And it was this code that was used to help the runaway slaves find their way to freedom safely. And most of the patterns that I've seen for Freedom quilts have been for quilting. So what I wanted to do was convert it either into a cross stitch pattern at first, which I found extremely difficult. I was challenged with that. I'm not a designer, and I don't know. I got frustrated with that, and I didn't do it. So then I decided I was going to use some mosaic knitting patterns that were very reminiscent of the Freedom quilts, and I decided I was going to knit them instead of cross stitch. But Deb, Stitches in Heritage, I believe she is. Deb is actually stitching them. And it's fascinating. And Dee, I thanked her personally, but Dee, a while ago, I think it was right after I moved in. Yeah, I received them here, sent me some needle minders that had those Freedom quilt codes on there, those Freedom quilt patterns on there. They were on the needle minders. So I thought that was fascinating and so thoughtful. But anyway, that is what Ingeborg is referring to when she mentions quilt code. And I think that is not only fabulous, but historical. So really, thank you so much. Aussie Stitcher said, quiet no more, which I loved. I loved that one too. So I'm kind of stuck between those three. I went from not having anything for Q to three contenders. I've also gotten a couple of comments for Queen Latifah, who was first female rap artist nominated for an Oscar. I don't think I knew that. Somebody noted that. I didn't know that. Somebody else said Quincy Jones. Somebody else said Queen of Gospel, referring to Mahalia Jackson for her singing at the March on Washington. So these were like really well thought out suggestions. And I love it. I love it. Like I said, I went from not really having anything for Q. I had a couple of things that I was not so sure of, but then you have Question Everything, Quilt Code, and Quiet No More. I'm leaning towards Quilt Code though. I kind of love that, but thank you everybody for your suggestions. For Z, we had Zen, we had Zion, we had Zeal. Metro Stitcher said Zero Tolerance, and that was actually one of the ones I was thinking of for Z. So I love that she wrote that. Zydeco, I have to Google that. Somebody wrote Zydeco, and it's a musical, it's a reference to music, I believe. I don't know much about that. So I'm definitely going to Google that. Zealous, Zest for Life, and then Z, like sleeping sounds, as in not sleeping on what's going on. I thought that was great. Somebody else, I forgot, for Q wrote quitting, as in not quitting. Very thoughtful. One of the things that I absolutely loved was from Don't Run with Scissors. She suggested Ziz, as in sparkle or about vivacity, whereas as a verb, it can be used to mean to enliven. Or zygoplural, meaning used chiefly in biological contexts. Anything described as zygoplural is bilaterally symmetrical, or in other words, the left and the right sides are reflected like a butterfly. Love that. Love that. I love that I'm learning from these suggestions as well. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I really appreciate you guys' feedback. So yeah, I just wanted to share some of that. Gosh, it's already 22 minutes. I hope you guys are stitching. Yeah. So I love that you guys shared all those comments and provided your feedback. Really appreciate it. So if I use your words, and I think I might for a couple of them, if I use your suggestions, I will definitely keep you in mind and just thank you in advance for your help with that. So that being said, we can go into finishes. So let's start with finishes. So the first one I showed a couple of weeks ago as a finished object, and I said that the frame was on its way. The frame has arrived. If any of you are not aware, I have started to get very comfortable with framing my own projects. I order the frames from pictureframes.com, and what that comes with is the frame, the acrylic. It's not glass, it's acrylic, but they do offer the non-glare option. And honestly, when you're looking at it on the wall, you can't tell. I framed Desiderata, which was by far my largest project and probably one of the more meaningful, I won't say the most, but one of the more meaningful projects. I framed that myself using the frame and the acid-free foam core, all of that, the picture hanging hardware, all of that comes from pictureframes.com. You basically get everything that you need, except for the pins. I do have pins where I pin the fabric to the acid-free foam core myself. But other than that, I get pretty much everything that I need to fully to frame it. So shortly after showing Pearl, or the dancer that I named after Pearl Primus, shortly after that, the frame arrived and I sat down and framed her last Saturday. So here she is. Let's see. There we go. Here she is. It's a cherry wood frame. It's my signature. Do not look at my nails. I don't know. Thankfully, it's a neutral nail polish. It's all chipped and picked off. Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. So here she is. I just wanted a simple frame. I didn't want anything to overshadow her, or her movement or the fabric. And I'm very happy with it. And she's going to go in our living room because our living room has blues and pumpkins and rust colors, neutral tones, very earthy and neutral tones. So this would fit in quite beautifully in the living room. And there she is, all framed up. The next thing that I have finished, that I'm excited about, I wanted to finish Harriet Tubman in the month of February. So last week it was pretty great. I finished Harriet last Sunday. I framed Pearl last Saturday, and I just thought it was the perfect segue into from closing out Black History Month to going into Women's History Month, by paying such attention and giving such reverence to these two powerful women. I wanted to finish Harriet by the end of February, and I did. I think like 6 o'clock in the evening, in the final hours. So here we have Harriet. I got fancy on you guys and got a board. Not too fancy because it's, yeah, it doesn't look as good as when the Sunshine Stitchers clip something to the board, but I tried. But anyway, here is Harriet. She is stitched on 32 count fabric. I think this is called Old Moss by XJU Designs. I started her as part of the Harriet Tubman Stitch Along on December 26th of last year. And then I put her down for a little while. I think the only thing I stitched was Tubman and her year markers right here. And then I picked her up again last month, and I was focused on a finish, and I finished her. So Harriet is going to be a pillow. I'm going to back her with some fabric that I have, and I think the needle minder that I have a Harriet Tubman needle minder. I think I'm going to put that in as part of the full finish, and just keep the needle minder on there. This piece right here, this wheat flower or whatever you want to call it, that thing was a beast. Shelia mentioned it last week in her Sunshine Stitchers video where she showed her finish. She was not lying. I don't know why this thing was the beast, but it was. I told my husband I don't know which was more tedious, this or the portrait. But I still loved every stitch. I'm not really complaining about it, just being funny. But yeah, I loved it. I love how it came out. And it's funny when you look at it up close and you see like the shadowing in her face. I was so thrown by such a light color being in her face, but when you look at it, these designers know what they're doing. I mean, I clearly see Harriet Tubman. I like the additional, the little, I don't know if you can see it, the treasure braid that I have in there. I switched that out for Krynic, but they just give it a little bit of sparkle. I like that additional touch, and I love it. Now, I thought it was funny. I signed it when I finished it last weekend, and I was like, look at me signing my project as soon as I finish it. Yeah, look at the year. It's 2021. It's fine. So those are my two finishes. She will be a fully finished object when I decide I feel like pulling out the sewing machine. And gosh, there's something flying in here. It's like a gnat or something. So yeah. So those are my two finishes. So from here we can talk about my active WIPs. I have 3 to share with you. Modern technology here. So this is what I now refer to as my Filipino farmers. If Abby would be so kind as to pronounce the actual name of this for me, I'm not even going to attempt. Um, I don't want to be disrespectful, but she did tell me a long time ago when I first started this that the name of this pattern from Cross Stitch Designs by Rinna is actually translated to Bountiful Harvest. But I've started referring to them as my Filipino farmers. And I will insert a picture of what it's going to look like here. And this, I don't know. I think I'm going to stitch on the clip just fell. I think I'm going to stitch on this for the entire month. Or not. I don't know. I started using the little timer thing that Gerald and Caroline talked about. And I worked on this last night, and I already used up 3 of my 12 hours. So I think I might have to reset it for another 12 hours. But it is going to be interesting to see how much stitching I get done in 12 stitching hours. And that's just when I'm actually stitching. Obviously, I stop and start the timer when I'm working on it. But I love the idea of the multiple timers to time how long you're stitching on your projects before you want to switch them out or whatever the case may be. If you don't know what I'm referring to, watch Ginger Gerald's, I think it was his Exude Kindness number 18. I think it was the one from yesterday, from March 6th. And then Caroline talked about it in her most recent video from today. I think it was last Monday. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. So here, the biggest progress from when I last worked on it, which was, I don't know when, I finished up the outline of her face. Got another gigantic hand here. I need my Shelia pointer. I finished up that hand. These blue outlines from whatever this guy is holding, that's new. These outlines here outlining the shape of her sleeve and her shirt. Her jawline, all new. Finished up this arm up here. This little bit of a blue shirt coming in. Filled in her hair. That's what I've worked on this week. And this is for hashtag Stitch Asia, if I didn't mention that. I was supposed to start... It's been a hell of a year, Sal, with Emily from Eclectic Possessions on March 1st. She started a Sal. But I had a chat with myself, and I was like, self, you know good and well if you start this, you're not going to finish it. And I know that. It was a free pattern. It's a beautiful pattern. But I knew if I started it, I knew I wasn't going to finish it. Or even it was going to end up another project in the WIP pile. And to the Rocking Stitcher's point, that's the kind of thing that I'm questioning differently with looking at all these projects. Like, yeah, I'm really... second guessing if I want to add anything to the pile. I really want to get through all of these WIPs. I'm 46 years old. They're going to take a minute, you know? So I really need to do something. And starting all the new things probably isn't the best idea. So that's it for my Filipino farmers. And my back is itching. And then I'm going to flip it. And here is where I am on my Prairie Schooler alphabet. Now, the only thing that I have done is, since I last showed it to you, was the top of the drum here. I think that's all that I've done because I didn't work on this. This is my Friday off the grid party project, basically for 6 hours from 6 p.m. to 12 a.m. in the Friday off the grid group. And I've decided that this is the project that I'm going to work on every Friday night. Until I decide otherwise. So I only work on this on Friday nights, and it's given me a little bit of progress. I mean, this has been going on since 2017, so I'm definitely putting in, you know, more than I have been in the past 4 years, obviously. And I don't know how many Fridays it will take me to get through this block, but I typically only work on this on Friday nights. I didn't work on it last Friday because I was focusing on finishing Harriet. I wonder if you heard my tummy just now. So yeah, that's where I am with that. So these are my only two stitching WIPs right now that I'm actively working on. Don't know when I'm going to switch out my Filipino farmers. I don't have plans on switching them out anytime soon because I really enjoy that. I do want to share, have I ever shared knitting on this channel? I don't know. Something that I'm working on is my Copeland shawl. I'm working on this using twister yarn from Hobbii. I call it Hobbii, but I was listening to, I was watching TLC Yarn Crafts on, I was about to say Flosstube, on YouTube, and she refers to it as Hobbii. I don't know. Hobbii. I just discovered them this year. They are in, I want to say Denmark, but they have yarns at such a good price. And they have yarns that I haven't seen before. Like, obviously, I haven't seen them in Stitching. I haven't seen them here. I haven't seen them in big box stores. But they have such fun yarns. Like, for example, this yarn right here. This is the Hobbii Twister yarn. 55% cotton, 45% acrylic. It is a fingering weight, but it's this tweeted yarn, tweeted gradient yarn. And I think it's called, is it called Rastafarian? I don't know. Something along the Rastafarian lines. For obvious reasons. Look at the beautiful colors. So I decided I was going to make the Copeland shawl using this. And I've already gotten a nice little start on it. And I've only posted this on Instagram. But this is how the shawl is coming along. Obviously needs to be blocked. But here you can see it has that middle pattern, and other than that it's just increases, but you can see how the yarn, how the gradient goes. It started in the middle with the solid red, then it goes to red sprinkled with green, then it goes to green sprinkled with red to yellow, green sprinkled with yellow, and it kind of flows like that. I was showing you the back of it. Really beautiful, really nice drape. So I can't wait to block this out and see how that comes along. So that's the Copeland shawl, and this is what I have left. I'm just going to keep knitting on it until I'm out of yarn. Yeah, so that's the Copeland shawl. And I just picked this up when I feel like it. It just kind of, it sits on the nightstand. It goes with me in the car. If I'm going on a trip. Who's going on a trip? And by trip, I mean going on a car ride to go grocery shopping. That's how the Becketts define trips. Let's be clear on that. So, yeah, I stitch on it when I feel like it. All right, so we've gone through the comments. We've gone through the finishes. We've gone through, this is the bag that it's in. I got a 10-pack of these bags off of Amazon for like $9.99. It's cloth bag. It's got a second zipper in here, little mesh see-through. I got like a 10-pack or a 12-pack. I think it was like $10, something like that. I'll put the link below if anybody's interested. If you haven't noticed, I love a project bag. I need to start loving more of these types of project bags. Because I judged myself. Tell the truth and shame the devil, right? I judged myself a little bit with all the project bags I did. I admitted to myself that I have a problem. So there's that. All right. So now we go into bin number 4. So I have been through 3 of my bins so far. The first one was a video like this where I've done the WIP parade. I've done, not the WIP parade, I've done my active WIPs. And then I show a bin. The last video I did, I think, was just a bin reveal. And so I did 2 bins. And I'll probably do the same thing next week, just to kind of keep the flow going, because I won't have much progress to show with only my Filipino farmers. Unless, I don't know, unless something changes, but I probably won't show. I don't know what I'll do. I'm rambling. So the next video, I'll probably show a couple of bins all at once, just to keep it flowing. But on this video, I think I'm only going to show one bin because I also have haul to get through. And I want to do some stitching today. I actually got up fairly early and mopped the floor, mopped the kitchen floor. And what else did I do? I did something else. I don't know. I got up early, made some coffee, mopped the kitchen floor. And I came in here and, oh yeah, I did all my comments. I went back in and looked at my comments for the past 2 weeks and responded to those. And don't know why I'm sharing all of this. Anyway, the first project is in this beautiful bag that was made for me by the lovely Felicity Stitches, who is Jen. She made me this bag and she gifted it to me at the very first Flosstube retreat that I went to in New Jersey. She said that the colors reminded her of beautiful, vibrant peacock colors. It's one of the see-through bags. There's a sneak peek. Here is the feather pull that she added to the bag, and it's just beautiful. So what lives in here is my Hands Across the Sea, Eliza Cox, 1832, who I believe I purchased while in New Jersey. So this bag is just filled with reminiscing. And here is the design. And what it says is, there is a modest little flower to friendship ever dear. Oh, I plant it on my humble bed and strew it o'er my bier. I'm trying to read where the poem continues. Do I go down or do I go to the right? 1 second. No sculptured marble e'er shall shew my long and lowly home. That little modest, humble flower shall mark my silent tomb. Let not the dark sepulchral yew its somber branches wave, but let that little fragile flower alone grow on my grave. Then shall my grave by this be known, a little smiling spot, a mound thick covered with the flower that says, "Forget me not." Isn't it pretty? And that's how it is. That's how it looks, rather. This is a big girl. This girl is so big that I had to get a piece of 46 count fabric to avoid having to buy a half yard. And I think that's what's actually called for. I could be wrong. I think it's 46 count. So this is my fabric. Let's see if that shows up. I don't know. It's like a yellowy green. I believe is it an XJU or did I get it from, let's see if I was responsible and put my tag in here. There's the needle minder. I purchased that from McKenna Stitching in Sequins. From her website before it was 1884 Stitchery. I don't see a tag in here, so I don't know what this fabric is, but I think it's XJU. I could be lying. But here is my progress. Don't know why I just developed an accent, but there you go. Isn't that pretty? Gosh. I love how that looks. This is 46 count 1/2. Gosh, it's pretty. You know, excuse me for scratching my nose. I have as much fun looking at these projects, I think, as you guys do. It's so much fun just going through and pulling out old projects that I haven't looked at in a while and seeing where I left off and seeing what they look like. Really fun. Trying to get this back in here. There's the interior of Jen's beautiful project bag. It's like this cloudy turquoise. Really nice. And here are my threads. I got the thread pack from Victorian Motto Sampler Threads. So they're all in here. Okay, there's that. The next bag is a So Much to Love bag. Purple and sparkly and starry. And what does my tag say? This says Cirque to Cirque lace. Okay. This is, let me start here. It looks like I'm using some Wildflowers by GaRon. This is Black Cherry. On this grayish, greenish 25 count. No, I think it's 32. 32. There's my start on it. I haven't seen this in a long time. This was started years ago. I'm ashamed to say how long ago. But it looks good. I don't know what this fabric is. I want to say, I don't know, it doesn't have a tag on it. But it's like bluish gray. It's got a slight tinge of green to it. And that is Cirque to Cirque lace by Ink Circles. I don't have a start date on my tag. This is my Downton Abbey GaRon tote bag. No idea what's in here. Yes, I do, because this is one of the few ones that I wrote on. Mermaids Folly Courtney collection, 18 count Ada using DMC 111. Now, and it came with a little, I think I might have won this. I don't know if I won it or if I ordered it. Scissors. And there's the DMC 111. I have a box of it. I have a box of it. I saw Broadway Stitcher at the second Flosstube retreat. She did, it was some long dog. I can't remember what it was. But she did a long dog on like a navy blue fabric using DMC 111. When I say good, it was good. It was good. And that is the main reason why I bought DMC 111. And I was like, okay, well, I need to restart my Mermaids Folly. And I need to do it on DMC 111. And apparently, I got really sassy and decided I needed to do it on black fabric. This is a huge piece of black fabric that's already linty. There is my start, and it's boobies. It's boobies. We are looking at mermaid boobs. That's my start. So I restarted it. I think I started it on a 36 count linen using some DMC colorist. I didn't show it in my last video. I showed it, but I showed where I repurposed the fabric. That's where I originally started Mermaids Folly, and then I decided I needed to do a DMC 111, apparently on black fabric. And all I got was her boobies and part of her chest there. What's my needlewinder say? Stitching is a lifestyle. It is. So that is where Mermaids Folly lives. Gosh, what fabric count is this? 18 count black Ada. Oof. I know you heard that. That was my tummy. Mama's hungry. All right. That's in there. This is another GaRon tote bag with owls on it. Don't know what's in here. There's inside fabric. What's in here? Oh, looky here. There's a project bag inside my project bag. Totally normal. This is this a pick to pat pattern? This is pick to pat pattern. Based on the colors, I think this is either James Baldwin or Billie Holiday. Pick to Pat is a website that I use to, if there's a picture that I want to make into a cross stitch pattern that I know I'm not going to find in a cross stitch pattern, I go on picktopat.com. That is where Vickie came from. There's no cross stitch pattern for that picture, and that picture is the specific picture of Rafiki meditating. Is a picture that my husband wanted me to stitch. So I put it on picktopat.com, stitched it up. It comes out beautifully. This says I started this on Father's Day 2019. I'm thinking that this is a portrait of James Baldwin. That's what's in here. That's inside the owl project bag. And this must be the fabric. I've gotten that much done. Was I trying to diagonal stitch? Parking? I don't know what's going on here. There's 2 needle minders on it though. Me so cray. Me so cray. I made that one, and then there's a bookworm. I have 2 needle minders on here for all of this progress that I've completed. Any bets on if there's scissors in here? Here's the DMC. I think this is James Baldwin. Let's see. Let's see here. It most certainly is. There's the picture. So James Baldwin lives in this bag. Inside another project bag. A bag inside a bag. I don't know. I don't know why I do those things. This, I know what's in here. This is a beautiful peacock bag that Emily sent me one year. I don't know if it was just because she was thinking of me package. I know that she sent me a package for a very specific reason. She was thinking of me. So I don't recall if it was in that package or it was a birthday gift. But I know this beautiful bag is one that she had ordered for me. She did not make this. I think this was before the Momily bags were born. But look at that. Isn't it beautiful? And what I know is in here is my peacock. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Not good. The lid was off. So let's see what kind of damage is done in here, if any. 2 more markers and highlighters in here. Very irresponsible, Letitia put this together. Oh, gosh. Nail file. Well-loved nail file. Twister. Why? Nighttime sleep aid. Why? Why am I showing it to you is the bigger question. Here is a pack of floss that I know does not belong to my peacock, but was clearly packaged up for a reason. Hopefully whatever I kitted up is in here. This is, I guess, the piece I'm working on. Again, booby teams. I don't get it. for my Peacock, which is this. So this is Peacock by Courtney collection. I am doing this apparently in Dinky Dye's silk. What was Letitia thinking? Joe is cooking something. It smells really yummy. So Dinky Dye's black coral, which looks chocolatey brown there, but it's like a dark grayish black. Does it look chocolatey brown? Yeah, it's like a dark grayish black. And then I'm using Water Lilies, Havana, and apparently some Krynic, and I'm free flowing on the tail. So the colors in the tail, I'm using this. Havana by Water Lilies. That's pretty, right? Let's see what I did. Now, I do know that I dyed this fabric myself. I think this is one of the first times that I dyed fabric. I don't know what this is. Somewhere there's a pattern missing its kit. So we're going to put that in there and take note of where it is. So here is my fabric. I dyed this myself. I'm very proud of this. It's like silvery blue, silvery gray with touches of tan in there. And there is my progress. I don't know. Well, apparently there are the boobies. But you see kind of what I'm doing with the peacock tail, or you don't. There's a cute little needle minder that Emily also sent me. It's a little baby Bella, little pugalicious self. So the entire tail is going to be, I'll show you this again. In my mind's eye, all of this is going to be in Havana with a little bit of the Krynic going through just to give it a little oomph. And then everything else will be that black. And this is 1/2 on 40 count. And that all lives in my peacock bag from my beautiful Emily, who stitch along I bailed on. All right, this is from So Much to Love. This was a Valentine's Day bag from when I was in her Bag of the Month club. That's where a lot of my bags come from, if anybody's interested. Like, some people have Fabric of the Month, Floss of the Month. For the past 2 or 3 years, excuse me. For the past 3 years, I've been in a Bag of the Month club. So when you're in the Bag of the Month clubs, a lot of times you get a discount on the bags, and you just get sent a project bag every single month. No, you purchase one every single month. But yeah, I'm in a Bag of the Month club and a Fabric of the Month club, and I just rejoined Thread of the Month club. I just rejoined Trisha's Nest Egg. So one of these is probably going to go. I'm not sure which one, but I don't need all 3. It might be my Fabric of the Month club, but I'm scared to let that go because I'm scared I won't get back into it. And I can't believe I actually just admitted that. So this is the So Much to Love bag. It's chocolate and red and Valentine's Day. Get it? I thought that was clever. So in here is my Hoity Toity. Hoity Toity. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. Oh, there's a bunch of things in here. Okay, here we go. So here's my Hoity Toity pattern. And are these my working copies, or is this something new? This is something new. Also in here is Shades of Red by Northern Needlework Expressions. And apparently I am using Classic Colorworks Belsois and Cranberry. That's pretty red. All right, there's a bunch of things going on in here. So here's my Hoity Toity floss. Crinkle Crinkle. And I have 25 count terracotta 13 by 18 and 25 count bone Lugana 13 by 18. Did I start it on this? No. I know I started Hoity Toity. Let me see here. I don't know why these two pieces of fabric are in this bag. Because I know I started Hoity Toity and it wasn't on one of these small pieces. Okay, here is my start on the shades of red. This is on 25 count antique white Lugana. And apparently I also have the flosses for shades of green. And the fabric for shades of green. Now, the question is, for future Letitia, where's my Hoity Toity? Hoity Toity is not in this bag. The threads are in here. The pattern is in here. And I know it's not in this bag, and I know why it's not. You know why? Because I went to the New Jersey Flosstube retreat, and Jen was sitting next to me, and I wanted to start Hoity Toity. She was starting Hoity Toity because she had just purchased it at Silk Weavers. That's not the name of the store. What's the name of the store in New Jersey? Needlework. Somebody's saying, I can hear all of you saying it. It'll come to me at like 3 o'clock in the morning. But we went to, oh God, it's going to bother me. Needlework, that Needlework Gallery. Silk Weavers. Gosh. I can't remember the name. And she got Hoity Toity from there. And she started it, and she started stitching on it next to me. And either I said, oh, I wish I brought my Hoity Toity with me, or she said, start it with me. One of the two. And I knew I already had the pattern. And I knew I had it kitted up. I just didn't have it with me. But I did have fabric that I had purchased. I think she either gave me some black, or of course I probably had black 310 with me. And I started based off of what she had with her pattern, because I did have it. But I started stitching it with her there. And I don't know what I did with it. So it's going to show up in a random place. We'll find it though, because that's why we're doing these videos. This bag just has little sloths on it, which I thought was super cute. My nephew loves sloths. And this is my Sparkling Peacock. Is it Sparkling Peacock or Peacock Garden Mandala? It is Peacock Garden Mandala by Chatelaine. I always get them confused. This is on 28 count charcoal Lugana. And here is my start. Yeah. I was working on this when my father passed away, and I haven't put much into it since. Not because of that, I don't think. It wasn't because of that. I think it was because I was working on blue Moroccan lace. And I got caught up with that one. So I will definitely be picking this back up. But I think I'm going to pick it up once I finish blue Moroccan lace, which is not in this bag. But that's my start on it. This was also the one where I started the Chatelaine experience videos, where I had a series of videos talking my way through how I stitched my first Chatelaine, talking about some of the troubles that I was having and what I kind of had to figure my way through, since they can be perceived as being difficult. They're not, but you do have to pay attention. So there you go. That's pretty. Okay. And that is in my sloth bag, along with all the things, all the goodies, fixins as I sometimes call them. Now, this is the last bag in here, but we still have haul to go through. So this is a FFO. I stitched this in 2018. This was a gift that was sent to me by Elena and Olivia as part of Stitchy Christmas. It was a cute little pattern that was sent to me. I stitched it up on Rocky Mountain. I think this was 40 count. Rocky Mountain 40 count. And Lori from Mischievous Stitches saw this and said, hey, I have the giraffe and the zebra, and maybe there was a third animal. Would you like those? And she sent them to me. So now I have the set. They also sent me the floss. Just full of stitchy kindness. This is a bag that was made for me. A custom bag that was made for me by Jan Stitch and Neccessities. And I wanted her to incorporate my finished object in there. And I think I sent her the fabric. I think I had this fabric. I did. I had this elephant fabric. And I sent her the fabric and my FFO. And she added this and that and the lace and the interior fabric. So I told her just use your imagination with the rest of it. And I absolutely love how this bag came out. It's a bigger bag. It's deeper. It's a nice deep bag. But yeah. And she put a little elephant charm on the pull that you can't see because there you go. This has, what does it have in here? It has a whole bunch of fabric. This says White Nights in St. Petersburg. I can tell you right now, go follow Deborah, AZ Needleworker, to see what this looks like, because Letitia hasn't started it. But I remember being in Needleworker's Delight. I was in Needleworker's Delight with Deborah when she was picking out her fabric for White Nights in St. Petersburg. And here's all the fixings for it. So this is just the kit. I haven't started this. There's the beads. Oh, this is it's going to keep me busy. This is why I don't need to buy anything new, because I have stuff like this sitting here waiting for me that I'm collecting. Okay. And that was the last bag in bin number 4. But I'm not going to go into that because we are already at 100. We're not at 108 minutes. We're at 1 hour and 8 minutes. So I will do probably next week bins 5 and 6. And that'll be the focus on that video. Yeah. But right now I do want to go through some haul. So if haul isn't your jam, that's all that's really left in this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. But if you are into haul, I'm going to make this short and sweet. But I do want to show you some things that I've acquired over the past couple of weeks. I did say that I rejoined the nest egg with Trisha from 3 Owl Threads. And Trisha, it's pretty great what she does. She has nest eggs for Threadworks, Gentle Arts, Sampler Threads, Weeks Dye Works. I want to say Classic Colorworks as well. She might have a lot more. Go check her out on Facebook or on Etsy. But she she works her way through the color palettes for the thread retailer that you choose. So ultimately you end up with an entire set. I was in the nest egg maybe a couple of years ago, but it was one of those things. I think that's when I decided to take on another project bag of the month, and I had to let something go, similar to what's about to happen now, because I'm back in the nest egg. So here I got Gentle Art nest egg, and you get, what is it? You get 10 skeins or 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You get 10 skeins of 5 yards each. I get 10 skeins of 5 yards each of Gentle Arts and 10 skeins of Weeks. So also last month, if you have known me on Flosstube for any period of time, or back in the day when I first started, one of the things I used to talk about all the time was the hand-dyed fibers by Vickie Clayton. She stopped making them. I absolutely envied seeing people pull these little spools out with their hand-dyed silks and all this, and I was so jealous because you couldn't get it anymore. She is dyeing her threads again, and I'm all over it. She has monthly selections. This is last month, I'll say. This is the variegated floss of the month. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I got 2 of them. No, I didn't. I got the variegated floss of the month, number 6, and rubbed floss, which is, oh, no, that's what this is. I did get 2 of them. They're both rubbed floss, variegated flosses of the month, number 6. So apparently she started this 6 months ago, and I've been getting them ever since, trying to just slowly but surely build up a little collection for myself, for Vickie Clayton's silks. Got that. Last but not least, Ymir. Miss Ymir, who is Almond M&Ms on Flosstube and Instagram. Beautiful stitcher. Beautiful stitcher. She just did a interview with Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery, and I think if you were to describe something that Ymir is most well known for, it's her 1/1 stitching. Teeny tiny stitches. She does 1/1 on 40, 46 count, I think even 56 count. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. 1/1 on 56 count. So her finishes that we might have on an 18 by 27 piece of fabric, hers are like, I don't even know how big they are, but they're tiny. Like tiny, tiny. Like tiny. It's amazing to see. But recently, she has ventured into a new world of floss dyeing. And she dyes silks. And let me say this, she's kind of great at it. I purchased from her, number 1, to support her, first and foremost. Number 2, who doesn't love a good hank of silk embroidery floss? Number 3, her colors looked amazing. And number 4, I have a problem. But when I received what she sent, I wasn't prepared. Because she was just starting, I wasn't prepared for how good she is at it. So I'm definitely linking her below. I know she's dyeing stuff right now. And if you go in her shop, you see what she has as far as colors go. I am more interested in the hanks, and I know she's eventually working on them again, but I think we bought everything that she had. Not me, but the people. People showed up and showed out and supported her, and I am so sure she's grateful for that. But I loved seeing it because she's just a sweet soul. But I got a couple of hanks from her and a few of her small skeins. So when these things, she always says that she likes everything tiny. She likes tiny stitches. She likes tiny handwriting. She just, she, it's just, come on. Look, come on. You better focus. Give me something to help you focus. Let me see here. What is this? How cute is that? Is that not the sweetest skein of floss you've ever seen in your life? So these are her normal size flosses. This is Estrella, which is star in Spanish. How many times am I going to show this like this? Beautiful turquoise and orange and creams and blues. Very beautiful. Got a few of those. Then I got one of her hanks. This is called Bumblebee. Look at that. And it's almost like a limey greenish yellow, but I saw how she dyes. She's dyeing one recently, and that looks more yellowy yellow and black. This looks like, to me, it looks like almost greenish, but I'm in love with it. And I have no idea what I'm going to stitch with this, but I'm going to do something. And this is, look at her beautiful logo, Almond M&Ms with the needle and thread. Just so proud of her. So happy for her. And this one is my favorite of the three. This is Writer's Chair. I mean, come on. Look at that. Oh, the purples and the golds and the pumpkins and the rusts and the blues and the greens and oh, it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. Writer's Chair. That's my favorite. Don't know what I'm doing with them yet, but I'm doing something. I'm gonna do something. So next, I have a couple of patterns. I bought these off of eBay. And I only bought these because they have a Jacobean theme to them, and I kind of like that Jacobean theme stitching style along with Ginger Gerald Stitcher. We kind of fell down a Jacobean rabbit hole at the same time. It was first introduced by Deb on the Country Stitchers. And then I don't remember if I showed it to Gerald or Gerald tuned me into it. No, actually, I think he's the one that told me about the Country Stitchers, and that's when I started watching them. And I think we both fell in love with the Jacobean tree pattern. I started mine. He finished his because he's Gerald and I'm Letitia. But we both still love that theme. He sent me this beautiful fabric for Christmas. Beautiful fabric with Jacobean flowers on it that I swear one day I'm going to make into a project bag. One for both of us. One day. So this is what I got off of eBay. The Sheltering Tree. Gerald, if you like it, I'll just go ahead and say it right now. If you like it, I'll send it your way when I'm done with it. Let me know. And I got a Jacobean sampler. I think I remember selling this at Frank's. That's a lie. This says 2001. I worked at Frank's in the 80s and 90s. What am I talking about? Well, there's a Jacobean sampler by Sam Hawkins. And I have a funny feeling this probably looks far more amazing stitched than it does in this picture. I have a funny feeling. I was thinking, you know, sometimes you think that the pattern doesn't look that old. I was like, this looks like a really old pattern for it to only be 2001. That was 20 years ago. I don't know. Sometimes your mind doesn't put things together the way it should. I might as well show this. I got some yarn from a place called Hood Fibers. I got some yarns. This is called Moonlight Beach. It's a DK weight, 100% superwash merino wool. Peacock. That's what I would call this. I don't know what that noise was. I don't know. We're not going to talk about it. And this is called Fall Hearts, Fall Leaves. DK weight. Browns and pinks and golds. Autumn leaves. This is called Autumn Essence. DK 100% superwash merino. Nice reds and grays and pinks and browns. This is called Western Skies. Same thing. Oh no, this is 85% superwash merino wool, 15% nylon. DK weight. And this last one is called Mojave Sky, 100% superwash merino wool, DK weight. Oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. That looks like the desert. Looks like desert sky. Yeah, that's a good name. That's good. So that's the yarn I got. Last couple of things from GaRon Stitchery. I got, well, GaRon Tottenbags is and GaRon Stitchery. I got one of these beautiful bags. Can we talk for a minute about Ronnie's workmanship to match up the closure of the woman with the dress? Can we talk about that for a second? Matching that up like that? Just saying. That is absolutely beautiful. And then from GaRon's, let me slow down. I also got my bag of the month from them, which is Shamrocks. Crinkle, crinkle. And the inside is that, more shamrocks. And I got some fabrics from them. There's my color and cotton fabric of the month. I think that may be what I don't know. It's either going to be my bags or my fabric, then I cancel. I should probably, I don't know. Anyway, here is 36 count Red Passion by XJU Designs from GaRon Stitchery. Look at that. I don't know, but if ever there was a crafty curator fabric, my goodness. Then we have Poinsettia by Seraphim Fabrics. I've never had Seraphim Fabrics before. 36 count, GaRon Stitchery. Loving that label, by the way, guys. I love that. Love that. This is 46 count Mocha from Weeks Dye Works, GaRon Stitchery. Seraphim Fabrics again, Sea Monkey, 36 count. Fat half. Did I mean to do that? I don't know. I guess I did. Okay. That's it for that. And finally, I got some actual fabrics. Oh, there's one more. I got some actual fabrics. Here are my threads that came in for my quilted bees. I had one more Spicy Carrot by XJU Designs through GaRon Stitchery. This is also, fun fact, what I stitched my peacocks and posies on. And I love that fabric. So I got another piece of it. That's it for cross-stitch fabric. I did get some more fabrics for finishing and to make project bags. So I think I know where I'm going with what I need to let go of. All right. So this fabric, I already have this in a bag that Jan's Stitching Necessities made for me before I attempted to make my own project bags. This is what my, oh, it's right here. That's what my diversity, I keep calling it my diversity, my Prairie Schooler alphabet lives in. I found a similar fabric in more neutral tones, which I love. That I know I'm going to make a bag out of. Save myself some coins there, right? I also got some fat quarters of some African fabrics. I'm not going to go through all of them. I got them on Etsy. A 10 pack, I believe. 10 or a 12 pack of just some fat quarters. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I am going to show you this one because this is what's going on the back of Harriet. That's Harriet's fabric. And that, my friends, an hour and 26 minutes later, is that. I have showed all the things. And I think that's a good video. So, that being said, if you have any questions or comments, please put them below. I will try to put everything from where I got my fabrics to my yarns. I will link everything below. Slowly but surely, we will get this uploaded, and maybe, just maybe, it'll be up in time for today's viewing. So, as always, thank you guys so much for your kind comments and your warm wishes and your warm welcomes back. I hope this email finds you better than maybe you were the last time we saw each other. I hope everybody's doing well and staying healthy. And if they're not, I hope you are soon on the road to recovery. A lot of people commented about how I shared, how with the pandemic and the things that were going on in the world and the ugliness from people, it broke my spirit a little bit. It damaged my spirit. I do want to say that doing these last few videos has helped to replenish that, meaning I'm going back to doing something that I love and sharing what I love, with all of you who love it just as much as I do. And sometimes we need to be reminded of those ties that bind, whatever the case may be, those ties that bind. Sometimes it's the smallest thing that glues us together. And sometimes we need to be reminded of that. And maybe that's what I needed to do, because I think doing these videos, it's helped my spirit a little bit. So thank you guys for having me and for entertaining me and allowing me to share my ridiculousness with you. And until next time, my watch just went off. Be kind to one another and do more than just be kind. See you next time, guys. Stay safe, stay warm.